This is definitely a team we also never can get enough of. Clix and Epic Whale, honestly, one of our best, have risen directly to the top. Epic especially coming out with that incredible solo performance just recently. So, you know, he's really in tip-top shape right now as far as all things are concerned. But I want to touch on one little thing, Taco, that, you know, Vivid and Zeke kind of had a mini conversation about there for a second. I think we're just seeing a sample of what Peterbot and Boyo are looking to try to attempt in the finals lobby. I think what we're looking at is them practicing to show up to finals and do something we've never seen before. And that's successfully key every single play in the same game. But whoa, I think a sniper shot just came in, Taco.
Goodness, Epic Whale just absolutely obliterated the lobby. MDF, we can continue that talking point momentarily, but that is the last thing that Clix and Epic seem to expect here. It looked like a stroll through Lavish Lair initially, but now Clix forced to try and clutch up. But as a solo up against the likes of Cash, the 1v2 is never an easy feat, much less when there are other duos lurking nearby. Clix, if anything, all he wants is the reboot card and to escape. He wants to try and bring back Epic as quickly as possible before time runs out, because with the approach of the mid game, you're already going to have to expend so many resources, go to an isolated part of the map as well, likely going to be Clix pushing super far north, maybe towards that Rebels Roost area, but Kaze is not letting up. A couple of tags coming through, thanks to that thermal scope to keep tabs on exactly where Clix is running. Asian Jeff, Oliver OG, could play spoiler for Clix on his solo endeavor to try and bring Epic back into this match. But that was just dastardly what happened to Epic.
Luckily though, Clix quickly responds there, gets the card, and boogies on out of there. So should have an opportunity to get Epic back into this game. Muzz with the toad tag, unfortunate. It's gonna get popped and set back here. Blueberry Fizz is gonna go ahead and get them right back into the round here shortly, but this is looking like a bit of a stacker game. This is a sleeper lobby right now. Walkers, Fatch, Bolts, Bryce. Man, this is no easy lobby right here by any means.
This is going to be a stacked endgame is what it's going to be, MDF, because with so many seasoned veterans in one lobby, you have to anticipate that these guys understand how to rotate, how to position, most especially, and it's going to make things really difficult. I'm expecting teams to encounter some pretty heavy surge threshold woes in this lobby, because the top end of the pro scheme, I think, is going to make it very problematic for some of these newcomers that might have found their way in this match to encounter and overcome. Fatch Walkers posted up just outside Edge of Zone here by Reckless Railways. But to continue that conversation of Peterbot and Poyo and whether or not they're going to try to shock the world in the set lobby format of semifinals, it really is a circumstance, though, MDF, where I would just expect that Peterbot and Poyo find themselves in that semis upper bracket. Even if Grimgate is uncontested, it could potentially pose an issue for them, because they're not going to be able to just steamroll through every single one of these duos in NA. Don't get me wrong, they are certainly a super talented duo, but I do think a huge reason for their success in this rolling lobby format playstyle is just the fact that they are encountering so many different kinds of teams. Some of these teams are newer to, this is like their first time even making it into one of these FNCS formats, for example, and so they're just getting their toes wet. But if they were able to find those repeat circumstances and go on an absolute elimination spree against the top teams in all of North America, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because again, there's also the rumor that depending how Peterbot's performance goes in Major 2, who knows, maybe he decides to stroll in over to EU, pull a Mix and Paco, switch up the region, and see what he can really do.
That would be insane. Sign me up for it. I want to see it. Might have to even ditch the NA region and go cast EU for a little bit just to watch that firsthand. I don't know. We'll see. But Epic, Whale, and Clix here playing the dead side rotate right now. Pickups are good. They're back into it. There's Pledge and Elsa right now. Complete opposite side of the zone, went from the far north to the far south. Here's a team that's below the Surge. We already know it's a bit of a stretch here as well. To get 70 damage, you will have to connect pretty confidently on someone. If they don't do this quickly, and it's only going to get that much more difficult here.
It's the fact that Elsa and Pledge are also encountering some old builds as well. They can tell that they're actually the stragglers, kind of lacking behind everybody else, which means the further in that they press towards zone or edge of zone, the more likely they are to just get held up on the outskirts of it. And they're already getting pieced up by these Storm ticks as is. A very big problem when your Surge isn't able to be built up high enough. 22. Still not enough. 10 above,
huge.
Finally some relief.
Yeah, that's huge right there. We've seen this situation happen a lot of times, and teams will crumble under this pressure, not finding those very critical tags that give them a moment like this, a moment to just get back into the game for a second, pop your heels, and really situate yourself. If you don't realize when the Surge is tackling you, you have to juggle, you know, doing the damage. You also have to juggle trying to heal, right? You don't have a lot of time. Once you fall behind, that's it. We get to jump in with Agent Jeff and Oliver OG, though. We've seen a lot of conversation, of course, spark up around this duel right here. This is one that, you know, is hit or miss, but when they're hitting, they're so explosive, so very fun to watch here. And we might just see one of the bigger clashes of the day right here. Agent Jeff, Oliver OG versus Epic Whale and Clicks. Which community essentially can get louder in the chat right now, because they are both juggernauts in the Fortnite space right now, and this is going to be a fun clash right here.
Poor Epic, though, just so low on materials, absolutely shambles as far as shield is concerned. Clicks might have been successful in that reboot scenario to bring Epic back into this one, but the fact that Asian Jeff, Oliver OG are holding them, and now they're even finding themselves pinched one more time, stuck between a multitude of teams here. It's going to be Walkers and Fatch on the other end of their backside of builds. But Oliver OG, Asian Jeff, they're actually going to be the ones trapped a little bit outside of zone. Epic trying to hold that peak for as long as possible, but we'll get knocked in the process. Clicks should be able to get this revive off, but again, that might be the opening that Asian Jeff and Oliver OG were looking for to try and pressure into their boxes.
These are great tags from Clicks here to really set things up, but you can see he's already shared more than enough with Epic. This is why he doesn't have extra shields or anything. They need this refresher right now. Little did they know, this is a healthy team they're jumping on of Asian Jeff and Oliver OG, but the tags are really good. The damage piercing through the builds right here. They may have done enough to at least slow down the pressure, but Clicks jumps in. He wants the full finish, and he connects with every single shot, putting Epic in the backpack for a couple of moments there, and then another knock. It's not over just yet. And look at that. There goes those sweet, sweet shields. But no, there's another team here. The splashes have to get used. They cannot afford to stick around here.
They got just enough materials, though, just enough builds.
Agreed.
Even though Clicks would have liked to get Rico's body materials as well, unfortunately won't be able to find it. And Nakoji, though, could find himself in a world of trouble, but Clicks, he's just so incredibly low, trying to use these 4 remaining bandages to get a little bit of white HP for Brave Fizz as well. But again, look at how they're being smothered by the rest of the lobby, just caught too late on the rotation. Epic now forced to be in Clicks' shoes here, but can he keep this momentum going? Absolutely shambles as far as materials are concerned. Whole lobby now focusing in on him, recognizing the fact that he is a solo after his duo got knocked right beside him. This is just such a tough spot for anyone to be in. Epic needs a miracle to pull this one off.
Yeah, he's been having a bit of a tough game so far. But maybe now that things settle for a moment, he can put up solo clutch here, the solo performance of the day, and redeem this game all in all. This place is definitely on fire. Take a look at this shot right here. TK with the body tag in the back-to-back. Make it 3 for 3 there. Well played for him. Snipers always making it never safe to just be out and about. Here goes that story that we wanted to see continue. Epic Whale finds the tag here. That's the revenge elim here. He's on the backside of zone. Yeah, look at the pressure coming in. Picks up a fresh Flowberry Fizz, swings his way through the build there, effortlessly running from the opponents right now. Well played. But that zone taco's right on his heels here.
If he had even a semblance of any form of white heels, MDF, I mean, the fact that he's made it this far is incredible enough. That refresh gave him some much needed materials over the top, but will just manage to skirt by. Epic, though, still looking for more. Wants to try and see if he can finish things off against Mavericks, but gets caught on the other side. Who knows who even gets credit for that one. Epic just, again, did what he could. And given how this lobby started out for Clix and Epic, a decent shot at recovering. Unfortunately, in a lobby this stacked, it's just going to be all that more difficult. Because even the likes of TK and Bacon now on the fringe of being fully eliminated. Does have an ample amount of Flowberry Fizz to work with, though, but again, as a solo, and a lobby still stuck with plenty of duos. Going to be difficult to deal with. Quack, nice height leverage. Just trying to suppress a lot of these teams on these lower layers, not really allowing anybody to try and challenge them on height.
The action going down on here. Meanwhile, Bryce just trying to survive, just trying to stay alive here, swinging all the way around the wide side. Meanwhile, TK from sniper shot to shotgun to the back there. Flinty's going to find him there. Okay. Now it's Muzz and Paper working their way up to the mid-ground layer here. They're just about second height, finding some elims on the backside of zone. Temptation kicks in to go for the refresh, but it's not worth it. And look at this. High ground is barely holding on by 2 ramps. Could be an all-out brawl for height here coming soon.
Muzz and Paper definitely being very patient, very disciplined with their approach from secondary height. You can see Paper looking up, waiting for his opportunity to chop. Real does have an underworld dash to expend, but again, it's going to be Paper. Muzz immediately moving towards front side. Next zone, they can make another attempt for height in a few moments here. For right now, they just want to try and control the layer that they are currently on. Smiley and Max, though, they're going to be able to get decent refresh off of Reciprocal's body. And now, Quack, Real, they're able to take control of the high ground one more time, but Quack just looking for a point to connect here. Smiley and Max still working their way through the low ground. A lot of hard materials being expended, completely out of brick, down to their metal for hards. Only about 20 builds left to work with there, too, as Quack almost entirely out of builds. Muzz and Paper are able to spot out this wood. Probably only a matter of time before they look to challenge it outright. That's why you can see Quack trying to focus them out, trying to ensure that they have to be delayed in their approach to the high ground. But it might not be enough.
I was just going to ask, what is G-Monster thinking jumping into this build? You can see them being put down and couldn't quite get the shot right there. Meanwhile, Max GG goes for the early heal, so he's going to be trying to lock in some placement points. High ground finally starts to shift hands. We knew it was going to happen. It was inevitable that the battle was going to kick off up here, and it's Your Easy and Thug Shark who take the high ground. Paper and Muzz give up the mid-ground layer and second height to jump down to low ground and start securing up some eliminations here. They're doing a great job. These mats right here, critical to keeping them alive right now, but it might just be the terrain that wins the game here. But no, it shifts back off that indestructible wall right there. That could have been devastating for everyone down in the low ground. And Paper is loving it. Look at how he's picking up these elims now. They're at 10. On fire here in the low ground.
More importantly, it's Paper finding a little bit more builds to work with. Only 1 banana for Thug Shark. He's going to go ahead and expend it. Does get 4 chug splashes, though, off of that refresh elimination. Now it's Paper, Muzz. A duo that could look to solidify this Victor Royale, but they know the last remaining player up on height. It's going to be Paper who's going to actually go through the endeavor of trying to challenge him up above, but the build's just so incredibly low. Thug Shark trying not to get chopped out, but it's just not enough. He's out of builds entirely. Muzz and Paper with a full collapse, and the Victor Royale is all theirs.
Well played for them. That's going to be 12 eliminations and the Victor Royale. And they played that very, very well. Decision-making was at an all-time peak as they were in the second layer. They had a chance much early on to take down the weakened high ground structures, but instead they played for the Elims in a long game, and it works out extremely well. And just like that, Taco, they pick up a win here on the FNCS qualifier #2, and I'm not sure we've seen them really get in this winning type situation, but they're looking even sharper than last week.
For sure, it seems as though all that VOD reviewing, scrim practice definitely paying off right now for these two. Probably very happy with their performance so far, but can they keep it going versus the rest of NA? Zeke, Kelly, and Vivid, what do you think?